Thank you, Debbie. I want to start with two disturbing stats that I think might make you think about your own companies and workforce. Studies are showing that 70% of the U.S. workforce is disengaged at work. 70%. And that only 10% of managers are receiving leadership training before or after they get promoted to a leadership position. So, we have a very disengaged workforce, and the people that we are putting in charge of inspiring and motivating our employees aren't prepared to do so. Very disturbing facts. My name is Eric Rabinovitz. I'm with LilyPad Solutions. I'm excited to be here, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about our journey, the value that we bring to our clients, and a little bit about what we've gotten out of the Startup Scholars program. So LilyPad is an employee engagement and talent development platform that will change the way you engage and inspire your workforce, while also turning your managers into better coaches. So how do we do that? Well, interestingly, almost everybody in this room today is going to check Facebook's app 14 times today. Interesting stat. And that's just one app. Most of us are now looking at our phones upwards of 150 times per day. Pretty crazy. So I'm going to do something a little unorthodox just to keep you on your toes. Everybody actually take out your phones. Something you don't usually hear when someone's speaking to you. Look at your smartphone, take it out, look at the first page. What are the apps that inspire you? When you look at your phone, what's your go-to? It might be a social network. It might be a game that you love playing, maybe Angry Birds, Candy Crush. What gets you going when you open up that phone? The chances are, not very many of you in this room said, ooh, I love this app we use at work. Or, oh wow, I can't wait to check these 100 unread emails when I get out of here today. Right? Well, if I look at my phone, just on the first page, I can buy coffee, I can see how many steps I've taken today, I can play fantasy football, I can watch Game of Thrones, I can do all these amazing things, and that's just on one page. I have 5 pages of apps. So these apps, these amazing experiences, are coming from some of the biggest and most powerful companies in the world. And what they're doing is they're creating habit-forming experiences, right? And they're studying and analyzing tons of data on our every move to make it so that we don't even realize that we're going into their apps. A lot of us are now picking up our phones and checking into these apps without even thinking about it. Well, that's exactly what we do at LilyPad. Only we create habit-forming work experiences. We take a lot of the techniques that your favorite apps are doing, and we apply them to the enterprise. So if you think about Facebook and Fitbit and the way you use those, we turn those on its head and we apply those to the workday so that managers can provide content, provide coaching, and provide experiences that the reps will actually pay attention to. So similar to the stat I gave you about Facebook, LilyPad users, once we get them going, check into our app over 14 times per day, which means we've got them engaged, we've got them checking in, and now management has the ability to win that day and to keep them engaged. In turn, our clients are seeing increased productivity, increased satisfaction, and increased retention, which is one of the biggest things they come to us for. We work with clients like AT&T, Roche. We work with a lot of craft breweries, which has been a lot of fun, like Oscar Blues and Golden Road. We work with financial advising firms, point of sales customers, and mainly we work with companies that have dispersed workforces. That seems to be the people that are feeling this pain the most. So whether that's sales or customer-facing support teams or account management teams, those typically are the companies that we work with. We started bringing on paying customers in January of this year, which also happened to coincide with when we started the Startup Scholars program. So at a very interesting time for us, we started getting pulled in a ton of different directions by bringing on customers from a ton of industries, which you guys can empathize with. So as we were getting pulled in a lot of different directions, it was really great to have a sounding board with our mentors and our cohort to help kind of guide us through the trials and tribulations of feeling a little more overwhelmed in the work we can handle. So we got a lot of value out of being able to use the program as a sounding board and kind of help drive where we should be spending our resources. We also were able to leverage our membership in the chamber and the events that we had access to, so that was also a very pleasurable experience for us. And lastly, we had the privilege of working with Debbie, who was just up here, who always helped us kind of hone our message and came to every meeting with some tips and tricks that I'm sure many of you have worked with her on. So we always had a tangible takeaway from every meeting that we could put into place. So that's a little bit about LilyPad, the value that we're bringing to our customers, and the experience we've had with this great program that we're very thankful for. So with that, we'll take a couple questions if any of you have. I know we're going to do a little bit of a panel, but if any of you have LilyPad specific questions, I'd be happy to take those now.
Hi. I'm just curious, what exactly is the experience that an employee might have with this app? I'm just trying to...
Great question. Great question. So think Facebook for a second. When you check your phone on a break and you have 4 or 5 messages saying so and so liked the photo you posted, or so and so has a birthday today. We use very similar things. When our reps get out of a meeting and they look to their phone, they see that their boss posted an image and one of their peers celebrated a victory. So everything they're doing is actually work related. So they're checking in. They have a wall. There's videos on that wall. There's articles on that wall. There's basically content on that wall that's just as exciting as looking and seeing what your friends ate for lunch, only it's work related. It's the right experience with the right content. So once they do that and we have them engaged there, we have a very sophisticated activity management tool. So think Fitbit. Think Fitbit for sales teams. Not how many steps did you take today, but how are you allocating your time and who's doing that better? How many points did you earn today versus your peers? Who's winning this challenge versus that challenge? So we're applying a lot of those techniques from the consumer world, but we're putting them into the enterprise. Great question. Thank you very much. Any other questions?
Does your app integrate with other solutions? You keep referencing a sales point. Does it integrate with like Salesforce or any other business tools that are out there?
Great question. Yes. One of the biggest pains that we get from clients coming to us is that they're not getting the engagement with their CRM that they wish they were. So we have integrated with Microsoft Dynamics, we've integrated with Salesforce so that as users are using our great experience, they're actually in the background entering information into the CRM, so people on the back end are getting the data they need. We get that question a lot. CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. The big key there is customer. They're all geared around the life cycle of finding a customer, gaining a customer, retaining a customer. And it's great, and everybody should have one. They're great technologies. All we're saying is, what about your rep relationships? What about your relationships with your most valuable assets, your team, who's supposed to be bringing all of those customers into the CRM? So we are a complementary, we don't take the place of any CRMs.
So it sounds like you're kind of adding some gamification to a social network. So how are you differentiating from like a Yammer, which is a work Facebook, or a Jam, which is SAP's version? What's the differentiation?
Yeah, so Yammer comes on the Microsoft platform. It's a great, really heavily based around social. So Yammer, Jive, Chatter, a lot of those are either plugins for the CRM that aren't really focused on behaviors. They're focused on socializing throughout the company. We've really narrowed in on the dispersed workforce, the people whose exact behaviors are going to tell the tale of their performance and your performance and your bottom line. So we've kind of kept our focus there rather than trying to kind of take a social view of your entire company. So a little bit of a blur. We do some very similar things, but we're kind of honed in on a few different value propositions.
We'll leave the rest of the questions for the Q&A.
Great. Again, Eric Rabinovitz, LilyPad Solutions, and right here in the palm of your hand is the same thing that's causing the distractions is actually the solution for our platform. Thank you very much.